Good afternoon, Jodi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I think we're going to have a little discussion about the annual report this year. Let's start out with just kind of a high-level overview of the 2024 annual report.
Yeah, this is a great resource for any shareholder wanting to know more about our finances and benefits and programs.
Inside we detail out our ocean health business, our stewardship initiatives, our community development priorities, and more. We have several highlights, really, but I think some of them is we grew our land management team at Hawaii. We've deepened our connections with community partners. We've supported incredible cultural milestones, including, staying diligent in our policy advocacy. We've basically stayed committed to our shareholders and investing in their well-being and future opportunities for them.
If we can actually zoom in for a second on this chart, let's share why these charts show our EBITDA from these businesses and not net income.
That's a good idea. EBITDA, which is really a long way of saying making money or profitability. The profits our businesses generate every day before the bookkeeping and accounting details are all factored in.
Something else is that for net income in particular, those numbers are actually reduced by our investments in shareholder benefits, which ultimately reduces our dividend.
Yeah, that's right. We're trying to give our shareholders insight into the way our businesses actually are performing. As we've said, it's that made money or profitability that we are reinvesting in our people.
Let's talk about our non-operating EBITDA for a little bit, the money we make from things beyond our businesses.
Certainly, these are things that we have less control over. We have our permanent fund and other investments that are in the stock market that we can't totally control. Those are passive incomes. And then for years, we've had our natural resource income from other Alaska Native corporations or 7I distributions. And we know that those are going down over the next few years. And so therefore, we have to expand our business operations.
Another income source we have yet to mention is our substantial carbon credit program.
Thank you for mentioning that. Even though we didn't see a direct income from it this year, I'd like to just highlight over the last several years, this was a very substantial program for us, very profitable. Our move away from logging was one of the most important and successful decisions that Sealaska has made in recent decades. Not only the financial well-being that came from carbon credit income, but it's more than matched by how amazingly that it protects our homelands for future generations.
Some people are sad to see that carbon income phase out of the dividend calculation, but I say we celebrate.
I think, to me, it's culturally, we have the investment in SHI and all of the great things that it does. It brings us celebration every other year. We have the investment in Spruce Root that helps with our economic and community development. Scholarships, we didn't just increase a little bit, we increased it about 10 times of what it used to be. And languages, it's like, if you lose your language, you lose your culture.
It's so nice to be able to realize these initiatives and see our revenue to support our people, especially our young people.
Let's talk for a moment about the increasing number of shareholders and what kind of effect that has on things. We have grown our base, and I'm quite proud of that. The descendant enrollment resolution passed a few years ago, and then shortly after that, we did away with blood quantum, and those were quite significant changes for Sealaska Corporation.
I'm so glad that we are allowing our young people to participate in and benefit from Sealaska, because that's what will keep us moving in the right direction.
Sometimes I hear people saying that the growing number of shareholders is one of the reasons our distributions are not increasing. And there is truth to that, but I think if they looked at it as their family as a whole, it hasn't changed that much.
Yeah, well, thanks for mentioning that, because I think it's a hurtful and misguided perspective to have. We need those young people.
Our elders and ancestors didn't fight for any except for the sole benefit for themselves. They did it for their children, their grandchildren, and their grandchildren's grandchildren, working for the benefit of future generations.
Honestly, Sealaska is about strengthening our people, culture, and homelands.
This year's annual report reflects the success of one moment within a 10,000-year period of our history, and it aims to continue this organization which supports our people for another 10,000 years or more.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Well, it's been great talking to you, Richard. I hope that this discussion helps enlighten our shareholders about our performance, or at least gives them fodder for questions they can ask us when they see us in person.
Gunshish Hawa.
Yeah, Gunas Chish Hawa. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.